The Eurocopter Tiger is a four-bladed, twin-engined attack helicopter which first entered service in 2003. It is manufactured by Eurocopter, the successor company to all copyright Aérospatiale's and Daimler-Benz Aerospace AG's respective helicopter divisions, who designate it as the EC-665. In Germany it is known as the Tiger. In France and Spain it is called the Tigre. Development of the Tiger had started during the Cold War. It was initially intended as an anti-tank helicopter platform to be used against a Soviet ground invasion of Western Europe. Due to a prolonged development period during which the Soviet Union collapsed, France and Germany chose to proceed with the Tiger, developing it as a multi-role attack helicopter instead, achieving operational readiness in 2008. The Tiger has the distinction of being the first all-composite helicopter developed in Europe, and incorporates other advanced features such as a glass cockpit, stealth technology and high agility in order to increase its survivability. Improved variants have also begun to enter service, outfitted with more powerful engines and compatible with a wider range of weapons. Since the type's introduction to service, Tigers have been used in combat in Afghanistan, Libya, and Mali. Development, origins and early development. In 1984, the French and West German governments issued a requirement for an advanced multi-role battlefield helicopter. A joint venture consisting of all copyright Aerospatiale and MBB was subsequently chosen as the preferred supplier. In 1986, the development program was effectively cancelled due to spiraling costs. It had been officially calculated that supplying the German forces with an equivalent number of U.S.-produced McDonnell Douglas AH-64 Apache attack helicopters would have been a considerably cheaper alternative to proceeding with development of the Tiger. According to statements by the French Defense Minister André Copyright-Giraud in April 1986, the collaborative effort had become more expensive than an individual national program and was forecast to take longer to complete as well. In July 1986, a government report into the project alleged that the development had become distanced from the requirements and preferences of the military customers the Tiger was being developed for. Both France and Germany reorganized the program, including steps such as the adoption of fixed-term contracts which placed greater financial risk upon the private firms involved. Thomson CSF also took over the majority of the Tiger's electronic development work, such as the visual systems and sensors. Despite the early development problems and the political uncertainty between 1984 and 1986, the program was formally relaunched in November 1987. It was at this point that a greater emphasis on the attack helicopter's anti-tank capabilities came about. Much of the project's organizational framework was rapidly redeveloped between 1987 and 1989. Such as the installation of a Franco-German helicopter office to act as a program executive agency in May 1989. In November 1989, Eurocopter signed an agreement that financially secured the majority of the helicopter's development through to serial production, including arrangements for 2 assembly lines to be built at Aérospatiale's Marignan Plain and MBB's De Neuwerth facility. This same arrangement also included the manufacture of 5 Tiger prototypes. 3 were to operate as unarmed testbeds and the other 2 as armed combat prototypes, with one for the French escort helicopter variant and the other for the German anti-tank variant. The first prototype took the Tiger's maiden flight on April 27, 1991 that lasted for 30 minutes. Due to the end of the Cold War and subsequent defense budgets decreases in the 1990s, financial pressures led to further questions regarding the necessity for the entire program. In 1992 there was speculation that the German Defense Ministry may not continue with the project due to the requirement to make fiscal cutbacks. However, Germany was also increasingly keen for the Tiger to perform a wider assortment of missions. Beyond being an excellent anti-tank platform, the specifications of the German platform was modified to include armed battlefield reconnaissance, close air support duties to support friendly ground troops, and escorting of other helicopters. In 1992, all copyright Aerospatiale and MBB, among other companies, merged to form the Eurocopter Group. This led to considerable consolidation of the aerospace industry and the Tiger project itself. A major agreement was struck in December 1996 between France and Germany that cemented the Tiger's prospects and committed the development of supporting elements, such as a series of new generation missile designs for use by the new combat helicopter. National political issues continued to affect the prospects of the Tiger, however. A proposed sale of up to 145 Tigers to Turkey proved a source of controversy. Turkey selected the Tiger as the preferred option, but conflicting attitudes between Eurocopter, France, and Germany in regards to military exports led to Turkey withdrawing its interest. On June 18, 1999, both Germany and France publicly placed orders for an initial batch of 160 Tiger helicopters, 80 for each nation, valued at $3.3 billion. On March 22, 2002, the first production Tiger was rolled out in a large ceremony held at Eurocopter's Denworth factory. Although production models began initial acceptance trials in 2003, the first official delivery to the French Army took place on March 18, 2005. The first official Tiger delivery to the Germany followed on April 6, 2005. Germany reduced its order to 57 in March 2013. In 2008, OCCAR estimated the project cost at $7.3 billion. France's FY 2013 budget put their share of the project at $6.4 billion, implying a program cost of $14.7 billion to the three main partners. The 2013 French White Paper changed the mix to 60 HAP and 20 of the more expensive HAD. At FY 2013 prices, their HAP cost a 27.4 M unit and their HAD a 36.1 M unit, including development costs. The French Tigers cost 80 M each. Exports. During the 1990s, export prospects for the Tiger had been invigorated by two large bids for orders from Britain and the Netherlands. Discreet talks between Britain and France regarding an association with the Tiger had been continuing since the late 1980s and, although Britain has initially dismissed industrial participation in the project, it was known by the mid-1990s that Britain was prepared to purchase modern attack helicopters from abroad. Eurocopter's management were keen to press production of the Tiger into action as soon as possible, as uncertainty over the date at which production, and therefore availability, would start was viewed as negatively impacting potential export deals. In both the Netherlands and Britain, a considerable amount of lobbying pressure was applied in the hopes of the Tiger's selection. However, ultimately neither country would order the Tiger to meet their requirements. On December 21, 2001, Eurocopter was awarded the contract to meet the Australian Army's AIR-87 requirement for 22 Tiger helicopters of the ARH version. Modifications from the standard Tiger included new communications and avionics systems, as well as compatibility with Australian safety requirements. Per the contract's terms, 18 of the 22 aircraft were assembled at Australian Aerospace's Brisbane facility, a subsidiary of Eurocopter. On July 1, 2007, because of delays in attaining operational capability, Australia's Defence Materiel Organisation stopped all payments in regards to the procurement. According to Australia's Department of Defence, by 2008 the main issues had been addressed and payments resumed accordingly. In October 2010, it was revealed that the helicopters will not be fully operational for another 2 years. In December 2011, the final Tiger ARH was delivered to the Australian Army. In September 2003, Spain selected a variant of the Tiger HAP combat support helicopter the Tiger HAD for its army. The 24 helicopters of this type would be armed with the PARS-3LR and Mistral missile systems, and feature uprated enhanced MTR 390 engines capable of lifting heavier payloads. Deliveries of the HAD variant began in 2007. The September 2003 arrangements not only involved a procurement deal but the induction of Spain into the Tiger program itself, leading to the greater integration of parts of Spain's aeronautics industry with the new multinational Eurocopter organization. Shortly following Spain's order, France chose to not proceed with the pure anti-tank Tiger HAC variant, instead electing to procure the multi-role-oriented Tiger HAD being procured by Spain. In July 2006, The Saudi government signed a $6.9 billion contract for the sale of 142 helicopters, including 12 Tiger attack helicopters. However, in late 2007, the deal was cancelled for unknown reasons. In May 2007, in response to an issued tender for 22 attack helicopters for the Indian Air Force, the Tiger was entered into a competition against multiple Russian and American helicopters. In late 2009, it was reported that the Tiger would not be able to participate in the Indian field trials as it was to undergo upgrades. In 2011, several Tigers participated in firing trials of the PARS-3LR missile as part of a sales effort targeted at the Indian Armed Forces. As of 2012, the Tiger is competing for a copyright $1.8 trillion contract to provide up to 20 attack helicopters for South Korea, along with the Boeing AH-64 Apache and the TAI Aerospatiale T-129. In January 2013, Eurocopter was reportedly in active discussions over potential Tiger procurements with Brazil, Malaysia, and Qatar. Design overview: the Tiger is capable of undertaking a wide range of combat missions, including armed reconnaissance and surveillance, anti-tank and close air support, escort and protection of friendly assets, and can operate during day or night in all weather conditions, and has been designed to include operations in the aftermath of nuclear, biological, or chemical warfare. The Tiger can also be used in the maritime environment, able to operate from the decks of ships including frigates and during extreme weather conditions. Amongst the Tiger's notable qualities, it possesses very high levels of agility, much of which is attributed to the design of its 13-meter four-bladed hingeless main rotor. The Tiger can perform full loops and negative G maneuvers. Power is provided by a pair of FADEC-controlled MTU turbo-Meca Rolls-Royce MTU 390 turboshaft engines. The Tiger has a tandem seat glass cockpit and is operated by a two-man crew. The pilot is placed in the forward position, with the gunner seated behind. Either of the crew members can manage the weapon systems or the primary flight controls, switching roles if necessitated. In addition to flying the aircraft, the Tiger's pilot would typically be in control of the self-defense systems and communications, as well as some secondary weapons functions. While some of the weapons use dedicated control interfaces, such as the anti-tank Tigre missile, air-to-air weapons can be managed via controls on both sets of collective and cyclic sticks. Crew new to the Tiger have to undergo substantial retraining due to the differences from older platforms, particularly in higher workload management and the additional capabilities afforded by the type. One major change from preceding attack helicopters is a far greater degree of operational autonomy. According to Andrew Warner, chief test pilot during the Tiger's development, "It is the easiest handling aircraft I have ever flown." The system cost and unit cost varies between variants. Australia's Tiger ARH has a price per unit of $68 a million. The latest Tiger HAD variant is estimated to cost $44 a euro 48 a million. Survivability. The protection systems employed on the Tiger include stealth aspects such as the visual, radar, infrared and acoustic signatures have been minimized to better evade threats that may be present upon the battlefield. According to Andrew Warner, the Tiger's survivability relies on stealth and agility. The fuselage is armored and was developed to withstand small arms fire and 23 cannon rounds. The helicopter has various radar laser warning and missile approach detection systems, including EADS's ANAAR-60 MILDS, as well as flares and chaff dispensers. The Tiger is the first all-composite helicopter developed in Europe. The fuselage of the Tiger is made from 80% carbon fiber reinforced polymer and Kevlar, 11% aluminium, and 6% titanium. The entire tail section is made of composites, including the single-section tail boom. The rotors, composed of a fiber plastic composite material, able to withstand combat damage and bird strikes. The structure of the Tiger also incorporates protection against lightning strikes and electromagnetic pulses via an embedded copper-bronze grid and copper bonding foil. The design of the Tiger includes a high degree of crashworthiness, Many of the onboard systems have redundancies and are segregated to minimize damage impact. Components of the propulsion system, such as the rotors and driving shift, were deliberately designed for greater ballistic tolerance than traditional designs. The gearbox also is rated for a 30-minute dry run capability if lubrication is lost. Fuel is contained in two main internal fuel tanks. An additional two smaller tanks are housed inside the stub wings. In the extreme inhospitable conditions of the Afghanistan theater, the Tiger had a reported operational availability of 90%. Avionics and armaments. Amongst the key avionics features of the aircraft are the Eurogrid battlefield management and map display systems, integrated communications and data transfer links, a high-authority digital automatic flight control system, and redundant MIL-1553 data buses. Two redundant mission computers control the weapons, sensors, and targeting functions. The Tiger's navigational suite includes GPS, dual redundant inertial referencing, Doppler radar, separated air data units, radio altimeter and distributed airspeed sensors. A dedicated nose-mounted forward-looking infrared sensor is used by the pilot for nighttime flying. Each crew member has a pair of multifunction liquid crystal data displays at their control station, typically used to display internal systems information and sensory data, and to interact with the aircraft's higher systems. An additional display system is available to both crew in the form of the helmet-mounted display. The HMD is used by the flying pilot to display basic flight data with digitally enhanced optics, such as night vision or infrared imagery from the sensors, superimposed against. The gunner can use the HMD to interact with and control onboard weapon systems and view targeting data. Perhaps the most significant single avionics system fitted upon the Tiger is the mast-mounted OSIRIS sight sensor. This incorporates optical TV and thermal cameras, a laser rangefinder designator, and multiple gyroscopes for stabilization. OSIRIS performs as the main sensor for target observation and acquisition, providing firing and targeting data via the weapon's computer. OSIRIS also enables entirely passive target acquisition to be undertaken and was developed to maximize the capabilities of the Trigat anti-tank missile developed in parallel to the Tiger itself. An alternative optical system to OSIRIS is mounted on the aircraft's roof upon some variants. The Tiger is capable of equipping various armaments including rockets, cannon, and a range of air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles, controlled via a dedicated weapons control computer. Munitions for anti-ground warfare include the nose-mounted 30mm Nexter turret, an assortment of external gun pods, anti-tank missiles, and up to 4 launchers for 70mm and 68mm rockets can be mounted on the Tiger's stub wings. When deploying missiles such as the Mistral, the Tiger is capable of taking advantage of the munitions off-boresight capabilities. A guided 70mm rocket will be developed for the Tiger based on the Rukhtsan Sirit. Operational history: in December 2008, final qualification of the HAP and UHT variants of the Tiger was completed, marking the platform's readiness for operational duties overseas. In May 2009, the Tiger participated in readiness trials off the coast of Toulon to clear the type for active shipboard deployments. By November 2009, nearly 50 Tigers had been delivered to customers and the worldwide fleet had accumulated more than 13,000 flight hours. In July 2009, 3 French Tiger HAP helicopters of the 5th Helicopter Regiment arrived at Kabul International Airport in Afghanistan, marking the first active deployment of the Tiger into an active combat zone. The helicopters performed armed reconnaissance and fire support missions, acting in support of coalition ground troops fighting a Taliban insurgency. The Tigers had their operational certification in Afghanistan in early August 2009. One French officer described the Tiger's role in the theater as find, attack, suppress, seize, raid, and support. By July 2010, it was reported that the Tiger detachment had totaled 1,000 operational hours in Afghanistan. On February 4, 2011, a French Tiger crashed during a nighttime operation about 30 miles east of Kabul. Both crew members suffered light injuries. In August 2009, The German magazine Der Spiegel reported that the 10 operational Tigers in the German army were only suitable for pilot training, while others had not been accepted due to defects. In May 2010, Germany suspended deliveries over serious defects, particularly with wiring. In response, Eurocopter stated that corrective measures related to wiring problems have been developed, agreed by the customer and are being implemented, and that 2 corrected helicopters would soon be handed over to the German military. During the 2011 military intervention in Libya, France deployed the French Chypre Tonnerre amphibious assault helicopter carrier, carrying a number of Tiger attack helicopters aboard, to the Libyan coast to conduct military operations upon military targets within Libya. On June 4, 2011, French Tigers, alongside British Army Apache helicopters, began combat operations in Libya. During December 2012, a total of 4 German Tiger UHTs were deployed to Afghanistan. The UHTs operated from Mazar-i-Sharif Air Base inside Afghanistan, performing reconnaissance, ground support, and convoy protection duties. All Tigers deployed to the zone had previously undergone upgrades under the Asgard program. The modifications include the addition of new defensive systems, SAN filters for the MTR-390 engines, and enhancements to the communications suite. The German Army received the last of the Asgard upgraded Tigers in March 2014. In March 2013, Spain also deployed 3 Tiger HAPs to the region to operate in support of Spanish ground forces. From January 30, 2013 to June 30, 2014, German Tigers in Afghanistan flew 1,860 hours over 260 missions supporting NATO ground troops, Afghan security forces, and humanitarian relief operations after floods. None of Germany's 4 deployed Tigers fired a shot in combat, which the Bundeswehr attributed to the helicopter's psychological impact through shows of force being sufficient to counter threats. In January 2013, as part of France's intervention in the northern Mali conflict, a small number of Tigers have been deployed for combat operations in the theater. Variants: UH Tiger. The UHT is a medium-weight multi-role fire support helicopter built for the Bundeswehr. Under an agreement between the German government and Eurocopter made in March 2013, a total of 57 Tiger UHs are to be procured. The UHT can carry PARS-3LR fire and forget, and/or HOT-3 anti-tank missiles as well as 70 Hydra 70 air-to-ground fire support rockets. 4 AIM-92 Stinger missiles are mounted for air-to-air combat. Unlike the HAP-HCP version, it has no integrated gun turret, but a 12.7 ohm gun pod can be fitted if needed. The German Army decided against the French 30 ohm GI-80 cannon used on other Tiger versions due to dissatisfaction with the heavy recoil of this weapon. Another difference is the use of a mast-mounted sight, which has second-generation infrared and CCD TV cameras. Tiger HAP. The Tiger HAP-HCP is a medium-weight air-to-air combat and fire support helicopter built for the French Army. It is fitted with a chin-mounted GI-80 30 ohm gun turret and can carry 68 ohm SNEB unguided rockets or 20 ohm machine cannons for the fire support role as well as Mistral air-to-air missiles. France's 40 HAP were delivered by 2012 at a cost of a 27M unit in 2012 prices. Tiger HAD. The Tiger HAD version is essentially identical to the HAP version, but with 14% more engine power available due to the upgraded enhanced MTR-390 engines and a better ballistic protection, as a result of the specific requests made by the Spanish Army. It will be equipped with a Hellfire 2, and the Spike-ear anti-armor missiles. The helicopter is suited for a support and fire suppression role. It was selected by the Spanish Army, and the French Army Light Aviation decided to upgrade most of their HAP helicopters to the HAD variant. In December 2004, Spain ordered 24 of the HAD variant and France ordered 40 HADs. France's 40 HAD will cost a 35.6M unit in 2012 prices. Tiger ARH. The Tiger ARH is the version ordered by the Australian Army to replace its OH-58 Kiowas and UH-1 Iroquois-based Bush Ranger gunships. The Tiger ARH is a modified and upgraded version of the Tiger HAP with upgraded MTR 390 engines as well as a laser designator incorporated in the Strix sight for the firing of Hellfire 2 air-to-ground missiles. Instead of SNEB unguided rockets, the ARH will use 70-on rockets from Belgian developer, Forges de Zeebrugges. 22 of the variant were ordered in December 2001. Most of the helicopters will be operated by the 1st Aviation Regiment based at Robertson Barracks in Darwin. The first 2 ARH helicopters were delivered to Australia on December 15, 2004. ARH deliveries were to be completed by June 2010. Full operating capability was planned for December 2011. Operators: Australia, Australian Army, France, French Army 5th Combat Helicopter Regiment. Germany, German Army Aviation Helicopter Regiment 36. Spain, Spanish Army Attack Helicopter Battalion 1. Specifications. Data from Wilson, McGowan, General Characteristics, Crew, 2 Pilot and Weapon Systems Officer, Length, 14.08 meters. Fuselage, rotor diameter, 13.00 m, height, 3.83 m, disc area, 133 mass squared, empty weight, 3,060 kilograms, max takeoff weight, 6,000 kilograms, power plant, TUA, MTU Turbo Mecha Rolls-Royce MTU 390 turbo shafts, 958 kilowatts each, internal fuel capacity, 1,080 kilograms, performance, maximum speed, 290 kilometers per hour with mast, 315 kilometers per hour without mast. Range, 800 kilometers. Combat, service ceiling, 4,000 m, rate of climb, 10.7 meters per second, armament, guns, 1 30 mm GIAT-30 cannon in chin turret, with up to 450 rounds. On each of its 2 inner hardpoints and 2 outer hardpoints the Eurocopter Tiger can carry a combination of the following weapons: inner hardpoints, 1x 20 mm autocannon pods, or 22x 68 mm SNEB unguided rockets in a pod, or 19x 70 mm Hydra 70 unguided rockets in a pod, or 4x AGM-114 Hellfire missiles, or 4x Spike ER missiles, or 4x PARS-3LR missiles, or 4x HOT-3 missiles. Outer hardpoints, 2x Mistral air-to-air missiles, or 12x 68 mm SNEB unguided rockets in a pod, or 7x 70 mm Hydra 70 unguided rockets in a pod. Popular culture. See also: aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era: Augusta A129 Mangusta, Bell AH-1 Super Cobra, Boeing AH-64 Apache, CAICWZ-10, Denel Roy Valk, Kamov Kar-50. Mi-28, TAI Aerospatiale T-129, Harbin WZ-19, HAL Light Combat Helicopter. References, citations. Bibliography. External links: Tiger HAP at Eurocopter.com, Tiger UHT at Eurocopter.com, Tiger UHT at Duce Tigre at the 2007 Paris Air Show. Project information on the EC-665 Tiger helicopter.